Going off the worst jersey ever.
Incredible.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into the Friday Night Pregame Lounge presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR when you download it for free onto your phone because Dev's not here, but we have the next best thing.
That's right. Well, first off,
or we have a better thing than even Dev.
Yeah, right. It's just like a lesser used better thing.
All right. Maybe Dev will chime in from the chat and give us advice.
Dev
I hope
makes
so.
an appearance by the end of this show.
Well, we know Dev's pick. We can make his appearance via his.
We do.
And,
It's the Steph Curry over.
No. Sneak preview. It is for a player on the Warriors.
Yes,
So get ready for that.
It's a classic Dev pick that he let us know ahead of time.
I can't tell you guys, man. I'm feeling good, man.
Whoa.
Vibes are really good right now. You come in here on a Friday, music's going, just everybody's happy. You just feel it, man. There's an energy to this building.
Dude. Spring has sprung.
Well, spring hadn't quite sprung. I will say though that the goldfinch
like 2
feathers
days ago.
have molted.
That's spring.
True.
They're in their spring plumage, which is exciting. So that was fun today. We got a great show. I'm actually very excited. We're going to talk very briefly about Steph Curry and Jokic, the dream pair, if you will, just because those two guys are two of the most fun players in the league and they would fit so well together. We're going to just have a little bit of fun with that. But we're mostly going to spend today's show talking about just why the hell Arsenal fans hate the Cronkies more than you hate any individual person.
Mad. They're mad.
Big mad.
Big mad. I mean, I've
mad.
had the people in my mentions before, but I've never seen the mob. I've never seen the mob like this before.
The
and I'm like,
flares
my
are
God.
out in full
The flares?
force. Yeah.
Yeah,
The flares are going.
So we're going to talk about that and have a little bit of fun with it. I think it's hilarious.
No one does lawful assembly like Europeans, man. They're all over it.
Assembly.
Let's bring out the flares to Coors Field, maybe. Do you think we could get that going?
People just don't care, but we'll have to talk. Hey, save it. We're going to talk about all this. We're going to talk about all of it. And, of course, we're going to make money at the end of the show for you and everybody you love. But first, game notes. The Nuggets looking for redemption. They are in the Bay Friday night on ESPN.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something of a big game. Harrison, give us the latest. What's going on with this game tonight?
So both teams banged up. Monte Morris still out for the Nuggets. The Warriors have some injuries as well.
What are those injuries?
Their injuries are Juan Toscano-Anderson.
He's good.
My guy.
No, your guy.
Put him on the list.
Excuse me.
Put him
I
on the list.
believe I get to claim one Toscano
Well, hold
Anderson.
on. How many guys do we get? Do we have a certain number of guys we're each allotted?
10.
All right.
Hey, holding it down for the
Harrison
half
gets
Mexicans.
A whole list.
He doesn't
I gotta-
get the half Mexicans.
All
I get
my
the half
guys
Mexicans.
are like 2 guards or small forwards.
All right.
Every single one of them.
Most of them.
So
are
is he
Joe
out?
Harris.
'Cause
No,
he's good.
he's in. He's in.
Oh.
He was questionable,
Bummer.
but
I was
he's
hoping
in.
my guy was out.
Kent Bazemore, Damian Lee, Eric Pascal, obviously James Wiseman, Klay Thompson. Those guys are out for the Warriors. Monte, like I said, still out for the Nuggets. Mike Malone had some interesting comments post-game. I asked him about Shaq Harrison, what his biggest takeaway is from his first couple games. And if you think about Shaq Harrison, this guy comes in on a 2-way contract. A couple days later, he's playing at the end of close games.
Yeah.
Like that is pretty wild to think about. He said that he was most impressed with the fact that Shaq Harrison knows who he is as a player. He said a lot of guys come into the league, they don't know who they are as players. He knows exactly who he is. He's a defender. He's not going to try to do too much on offense. He's just going to play his role. And, I mean, I thought he put it pretty perfectly. That's
The best
exactly
trait
what
you can
he's
have as a
done.
role player is knowing what your role is, man.
Yeah.
When
so
to speak,
valuable.
when not to speak. Oh, sorry, did I speak over you? Admit it. Shaq Harrison, one of your guys, right?
Oh, of course, man.
Is he
Joe
number one?
Harris. Now I get why you like
Shaq
Joe Harris.
Shaq
Anyone
Harrison.
else named some piece of your name?
You're going
in
to
the
see me
league?
writing a lot of articles about Shaq Harrison because I just get to write my own name. It just rolls off the fingertips.
Tobias Harris, are you pretty big high on your
it's a
list?
huge Tobias.
Harrison Barnes.
Harrison
big
Barnes always
Harrison
been one of my
Barnes.
guys.
Okay,
Always been one of my
top
guys.
Harrisons.
Yeah.
Ford,
Yeah.
Gary.
William Henry, Harrison
Benjamin?
Wind, and
Benjamin
Shaq.
Harrison?
There we go.
Alrighty. What else? Anything else from pregame that really stood out to you?
Michael Malone applauded the bench. He said the second unit as a whole is playing really well. He loves the defense, loves the rebounding. He said even though they were missing shots this last game, he thought they were generating real high-quality looks. He praised Paul Millsap for fitting into that backup center role and being effective. So I feel like we're going to see more of that second unit.
Michael Malone would trade the Warriors' death lineup for this try-hard second unit
loves
that
it,
plays
man.
defense.
He loves it.
God, are we gonna get a lineup of Facu
Oh, of
and
course.
Shaq Harrison?
Of course.
Are we going to reacquire Torrey Craig at some point?
man, if there was a Torrey Craig, the lineup would be complete.
Torrey Craig's playing good.
Are we getting
Playing
Craig?
well for the Suns.
Unfortunately, he has to stick with PJ Dozier, who's honestly kind of Torrey Craig-esque. So.
Has Greg Winnington been picked up? By anybody?
He's gone. He had to get out of here. One thing that I'm interested tonight, and the comments are also, as I can see, very interested in this, is that Facu, last time against the Warriors, very clearly under Steph Curry's skin. Now, Steph Curry had himself a night.
Can't guard me.
People went to the tape and said, hey, as much as he had a night, not all of it was on Facu. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that I'm ready to proclaim Facu the Steph stopper, but I'll tell you what, I think that is
It was
going...
he had like a really troubled 45 points or whatever he scored.
But as people pointed out, most of those came prior to Facu being on him. Tonight, that's going to be matchup from the start, and I'm just curious to see, one, if Facu can irritate him. Right now, Steph Curry's in a groove. I know he had a bad game this last one, but he's been on a heater. And then, two, I want to see if Steph Curry wants to go at him.
Well, yeah, I think he does. And I think Steph's one of those guys where it's like, okay, this is the European resume's cute, but this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy guarding me.
Well, I think every player in the NBA says that when they
About
see
Facu.
Facu. They're like, you better not put this dude on me. And
Yeah,
he-
is
and whether
this the
that's-
ball boy? Like, is this guy
Right.
on the
Right.
actual roster?
Do not let the chat hear you say that when you
we're
think that's
saying
Steph
what
Curry.
Steph is saying, not what we're saying.
I'm
No,
just
seriously,
Steph.
whether or not
Yeah,
that's
these are
fair,
direct Steph quotes.
that is how stars around the league are going to view the Facu matchup.
Totally.
Facu is either going to 100% make a name for himself in this game or is going to be clowned pretty hard. I honestly think that this is a high-stakes reputation. Not that he cares. Like, Facu's just out there.
Oh, man,
but it's a
he's
high-stakes reputation game, street cred game for Facu
Oh, my
tonight.
Yeah.
God.
I'm excited
I agree.
for it.
They're-
I agree.
They're playing for pinks? You don't
For
know what
what?
that means, do you? Never mind. It's
All right,
when
well-
you race and you win the other person's car.
Oh, it's just like that, man.
Well,
yeah.
That was a hit and
I
miss.
realized that
Go down to the
comes
sock
from
hop,
50s,
maybe get a milkshake from the Five and Dime. Okay.
Playing for pinks, baby.
Alrighty, let's move on, guys. A topic today, because I want to get to our second topic very quickly, so we're going to skate through the first one. We talked about this the other day. Most fun player, Steph and Jokic, high on all of our lists. It just so happens also, like, Steph Curry is in a league all his own in terms of shooting off the dribble. Jokic is in a league all his own in terms of playmaking from the center position. I can't imagine a more perfect duo than Steph and Jokic. I love Murray. I think he's fantastic. That's like a very close, like up. When you put the perfect point guards there, Murray's higher than people realize in terms of perfect fits. But Steph Curry, to me, if you had to jump out that far on a Jokic
Oh, man.
Curry pick and roll, you would score, in my estimation, 150 points a game.
Totally. Can I give you one other player that might be maybe as good as Steph Curry?
You can't, but you
paired
can
with
try.
Jokic? Giannis.
No, it wouldn't be. It would be good. It'd be very good.
I'm just thinking, in the playoffs,
I love when the sirens go through Colfax, man.
something
It's
going
This is
down.
a,
on
this is a hot
Colfax.
take alert. Ready?
hot take alert. Here it is. He's gonna come in hot.
I just think defensively in the playoffs, a Giannis Jokic pairing would be awesome. And I kind of feel like Giannis has been miscast a little in Milwaukee, where he's this guy who's always dribbling the ball up the floor. He's always like trying to run pick and roll, and you just build the wall and he's got to shoot over you, and that kind of minimizes him. If he could be on the receiving end
yeah.
of Jokic lobs, of Jokic backdoor cuts, like that might unlock Giannis even more offensively.
The other one I've thought of, and I'll probably get booed for this, but Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Boo.
I accept this.
What about LeBron James or the devil?
But obviously, did you consider Satan vote? Obviously, you're not going to do much better defensively mitigating Jokic's deficiencies than AD.
Yeah.
So the thing about Giannis is no team physically would be able to match up with with Jokic and Giannis. Like, even if you thought like Anthony Davis or whatever, it'd be like, no, I'm sorry. Somebody big is going to have to guard Jokic, and that means you're going to have a second big on the court, and there's no way you're going to be as versatile as Jokic and Giannis are from a versatility standpoint. So you would feast. So I'm with you. I think it would, but at the end of the day, that one makes more sense because it's like offense,
Right.
defense is good. But Steph Curry, Jokic is like, it just doesn't matter. You could have
Yeah.
flaws everywhere. You're going to score every time down court.
Which one do I want to watch for 82 games?
Yeah.
Curry and Jokic, like clearly.
Harrison told us and was right for 10 minutes that Jamal Murray and Jokic would produce the greatest offense in NBA history.
He was right for a
was
minute.
right for 12
He was
hours.
right
He
for
was
10
in there.
minutes.
So, like, if you had Curry instead of Murray, I mean, my God.
That's so
I will
true.
make a bold prediction. That would be the best offense.
I
in
do
NBA
think
history.
it would go down as one of the all-time great NBA duos, and not just success on the court, but
It might be number one. If we want to get
Yeah.
really spicy here.
Frankly, the Warriors owe us to this. Can we make Steph Curry become an informant on the Warriors to us?
Oh.
I think
And he
Steph
could be
Curry-
their mold.
Steph's really good.
It's really hard to steal the guy that is the face of an entire 70
don't
years
know.
of basketball
He's
in the
fine.
Bay.
Everyone's okay over there.
I don't know if they're going to do that, but
I
it
do
would be
think-
fun.
I do think it would be.
We just need to get him to defect. That's all. Go ahead.
We would think of it as one of the 3-5 best shows in basketball history. Right?
Oh, totally, man.
Oh.
It would be incredible. It really would be Montana and Rice.
Oh God.
Just, perfect duo that elevates both. It'd be fun. Got to kick you out now, Vote.
Oh, cool.
Got to kick you out because we are bringing in. We have a conversation today that I can't wait to get to. And first, Allie, can you play these footage? There's 2 videos here, and I want you to see what's going on in the streets of North London tonight.
In Islington.
Or yesterday. What is that I'm looking at here? Is this our from the other day? The most entertaining player since 1998.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
What do you guys think?
You guys see we welcomed in Edgar Walker here, who is our local soccer expert.
He's just the expert on all the non-Big Four sports.
It's true. Things that we can't call BS on. He probably doesn't know anything about any of these.
Or Big Five.
All right, we got it now. So let's play it. You haven't? Well, it looks like almost like tear gas.
This looks
They're tear
like a
gassing
standard
themselves.
Megalex game in the Adriatic League.
His partisan. Red Star.
Where do you get
Yeah,
these
Red
like?
Star Belgrade versus.
Yeah, where do you get
Where do you
a
get these like powder bomb things?
dude? Can you imagine how fun this would be at a Rockies game with a purple powder bomb?
I want to bring
probably
this to the
just sell
bar.
these
dude.
at,
Play,
like,
play the other one,
7-Eleven.
Allie. There's another one that's
I
a
wanna
little
set
bit
these
more.
up in the lounge if we
If
win.
you can't hear what they're saying because we're yelling, they're saying F Cronky over and over and over again with a little chant. There's a little chant mixed in there, but the genesis of it is F Cronky. Look at this thing, man. This is incredible. Honestly,
know.
I kind of part of me is
Rocky
jealous.
fans take note.
Before we ask Edgar this, Harrison, your pragmatic win take here. Do you wish that American sports had this type of cult following, or do you feel like maybe this is a little frightening, like it's a little much?
Absolutely, I wish
All right.
American sports had this cult
And
following.
so this is
Absolutely.
actually wild for England. So in England, typically, like, you don't get the flares. They had a massive incident in Liverpool, a lot of deaths at a match, and so they really cracked down on fan safety. But this is more other countries in Europe. So you typically don't see this level of flares and
Yeah.
crazy sort of.
It takes crazy
outpouring in
circumstances
England.
to bring out the
Exactly.
flares now.
So what is the circumstances for this? Just kind of fill us in.
Yeah, so essentially, if you're a sports fan, you probably know 12 big European clubs,
Right.
6 of them in England, tried to break off and form a European Super League this week. News came out on Sunday. It was rumored for a while, but it was sort of just like an if, or a when rather than an if. The whole Arsenal element of this is Stan Kroenke Sports Entertainment, bought into Arsenal at, I think, a 10% stake in 2007. That was coming off Arsenal hadn't lost a game and won the league title in 03-04, team called the Invincibles, like best Premier League team ever, only team that had gone a whole season unbeaten. The unique thing about Arsenal was, as Manchester City, Chelsea, Man United, as they started off spending a ton of money, Barcelona, without really any, like, it didn't matter if they turned a profit. Like, the biggest bank in Barcelona was bailing out FC Barcelona. Chelsea just had owners pouring in cash. Man City was basically owned by, like,
It's like the billionaire
Qatar.
version of
Yeah.
boosters, of like Duke, where they're just like, "Hey, what do you need? Just let me know. I'll write you the check."
I don't know
Only
where
it's
this.
like
I don't know
the
where this
richest
money's
people on
coming
earth.
from, but it's
Exactly.
coming from somewhere.
It's
so
not
we're
the,
gonna take
it's
it.
not the richest people that hailed from a college. It's the richest people on earth just
Yeah.
having a dick measuring
The
contest.
unique thing about Arsenal was that it wasn't just one crazy, dark money source, and they actually ran a profit. They were the one massive club that was like running a real business and running a profit. Kroenke bought in 10% in 07. Then after that, they kind of didn't win a trophy until 2014, so didn't really have any hardware. Team was fine, relevant, like finished top 4 in the league every year, which got them into the European Champions League, which is what the Super League was trying to replace. Since then, since 2014, everything is just broken, particularly in the last 3 years, as Kroenke's, coincidentally, leveled up
Influence
his
has grown.
stake. So he's bought out. I think a year after he first bought in, he bought up to 27%, got a seat on the board, which is a huge deal. Now I don't remember the exact number. I think it's something like 70%, but he's the owner. Like
Yeah.
KSE's the owner. And like KSE does almost nothing investment-wise in Arsenal. They charge a $5 million consulting fee to the club every year. Stan, I don't know if Stan has like ever had a public statement about
So
them.
effed up, man.
Josh comes in and tries to use British words. He's like, "You have a Champions League wage bill for a Europa League side," and he just says, "Dude, you don't say that. Like, you're not from here anyway." And I'm not from there either, obviously. But half my family's English. I was raised on being a huge Arsenal fan, and I've lost all interest. Like, very apathetic. Obviously, some others are not apathetic.
What were you telling us about the coach though? Like,
Okay, yeah. So their legendary manager, his name was Arsene Wenger, which is great because his name was Arsene. Arsenal.
That is great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So he came on
actually.
in 1996, totally revolutionized the way Arsenal did the sport, and pretty much the whole way Europe did the sport. Got the players healthy, like was way ahead of his time. He sort of lost the touch from like that 07 to 14-ish period. Ended up kind of getting forced out, booted out by the fans. There's a whole like Wenger out, Wenger in. Everyone had sort of agreed the game passed him by, but everyone's also like, hey, every other club fires their managers every 6 months, and we
Right.
don't. Like, and we're consistently fine. And since they got rid of him, they fired their coach every 6 months.
Wow.
so Arsenal is in the Brian Shaw era.
They are in the Brian Shaw era.
Yes.
So here's what's funny about it. People today, the conversation was like, do you guys hate Kroenke? What do you think? And I have to be honest, my Kroenke takes are pretty mixed. Like, the Kroenkes have presided over 2 very good eras of Nuggets basketball. Of course, the Melo, George Karl era, and now this one. And you look at the history of the Nuggets, they haven't been that many golden eras. Then the second part of that is, well, how much credit do they get and do they deserve? You know, they've done a shit job of growing the Nuggets fan base in this town, if we're being honest.
Yep.
They have not made them cool, and everybody tells us how hard it is. I think we have demonstrated over the years. No, actually, it's not that hard. There's a very hungry audience for
very
Nuggets
doable.
coverage. It's
You know
very
what-
doable.
you know
You
what
just
one
have to
way-
try.
You know what one way would be is to show them on television.
They're not on television, and look, that
place
dispute when it first started, you think like, oh man, tough break they're in. Comcast not out negotiating good faith, whatever. At the end of the day, you lose an entire season that is a golden era season, one of the best in your franchise, if not the best.
Two of them.
Well, now we're on 2, but I'm saying
Yeah.
last year, if you lose all of last year, and your team goes to the Western Conference Finals, has as fun and entertaining as a team as they've ever had, and nobody gets to watch it, you failed. I'm sorry, you failed, and that's where they at. So Kroenke a little bit mixed to me, but it sounds like it's not mixed in any way for Arsenal.
No, yeah, for Arsenal, I mean, it is also if the results were happening on the pitch, as we
Yeah.
say, or on the field.
You're not British, don't use British words.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. If I called it soccer,
Well, first of all, we're in America, so I mean, come on. If he called it people have to understand. People have rules for us and how to do our American
you don't
show.
tell us
You don't
what to
tell
do.
us.
We
I'm
tell-
sorry.
I've been to
We
the
have made a
Emirates.
lot of sacrifices to accommodate you.
The
This
only
is
one who
not
tells
one.
us what to do is Adam, and it's
We-
always uncomfortable.
We have football over here, and it's pretty freaking great. It's a really good sport. It's very fun.
the interesting thing with the
The whole world
Kroenke-
shuts down for an entire day. It's great.
the Kroenke Arsenal mixture was like when he first came in, it was sort of like, oh, this is a sports guy. Like he's not sort of a Russian oligarch or
That is a
oil
positive.
estate. Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, Kroenke, like sure they operate
a
big teams in the
Russian
States.
Would you take a Russian oligarch owner if it meant the Nuggets could be just a little better?
No.
Eric's like, no.
I mean,
The Rockies are a different story.
On the record, no.
all I need, like after the first championship, we can talk.
Okay.
Like, I'll take
They start
anything
to
to
feel
get it done.
bad.
Yeah,
All right.
All right,
But
what
no,
time's this game?
since
We gotta
since
get to bed.
Arsenal as a
We have 10
like
minutes. It's 8:10.
Oh, yeah, okay.
has actually started losing and being a pretty mediocre side, like going to finish 9th or 10th this year in the Premier League, right? 20 clubs. That's brutal. Like basically, people have found a way to blame that lack of success on the ownership group, and as they keep
Well, you should, I
shooting
think.
themselves in the foot like this, and Kroenkes keep coming out
So
and saying
I can't
dumb
believe, I
things.
can't believe that is all just due to them not being good. I thought it was like the team was being taken away or not being included in the Super League or was somehow being relegated.
No, they
It's
were
just 'cause they
included
sucked.
in the
Well,
Super League.
They
Yeah,
were,
they were in
yeah,
the
and
Super
I
League.
think
They were.
There's been a bit of like a I don't know. I have some takes on the Super League as a whole, but
We don't need them.
there, yeah, it is the
What is this, a soccer show?
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's this idea of, hey, we're Arsenal and like we're a super club. They wrote this great book about how they turned into, it's called Making of a Modern Super Club, written in I think 07 or 08. But they kind of always did it the right way. They had Wenger, they had this Arsenal way. They even signed a kid named Jack Wilshere who grew up in the neighborhood of Islington. Signed him as a 12-year-old. He never quite panned out, but solid player for a number of years. And now it's like, all right, we've done this the right way. Started in the 1880s as like a working class group. Now suddenly, hey, we suck. Figure that out first. And you think you have the right to go join the Super League and be the doormat of the Super League. That's frankly the truth. Is like they would be the worst team in this league by a good amount, by
Right.
good mileage. So that was part of it. I think it's just frustrations boiling over. I think the other thing was that it's just like in England, people have been locked down for like.
Oh,
if
sure.
We thought lockdowns were a thing here, like not even close to what they are in England.
Oh, yeah,
And so
that's
it's
a
like,
good
yeah,
point.
let's get out and
But,
mob
like,
the streets. Why
There's
not?
been like a couple colleges that had basically the same reaction.
See you burned an entire block for
Yeah,
no reason.
we
It wasn't
tried
even a
it.
part. It was just a party.
It was CU. All
It was CU. I
And,
mean,
and
yeah.
this
Jesus
is the
Christ.
thing. Like, this is the most important thing, right? If you're a Denver sports fan, you have 4 teams you can root for. If one is down, you have the other. Like, this is it. And you don't really. Some people choose both a football, a soccer team, and a rugby team, maybe a cricket team, but it's really not. Like, you're all in on soccer if you're there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like here we can sort of pick
Well,
and choose.
so here's my
our
thing. So the
teams.
Cronkies now have the Avs and the Nuggets that are in a golden era and built it the right way. Patience
Absolutely.
and done so many great things. I think they get an A for both teams,
Yep.
quite frankly. Now there's big tests ahead, especially for the Nuggets to see how they try to get it over the goal line.
Yep.
The Rams, they've done a good job with. Is it kind of
But
shiesty?
see,
Moving them.
That is a big deal why the Arsenal fans are really
This is where I'm getting at. This is where I'm getting at.
Because of his.
So you move the
Yeah.
Rams. That's, I think a little bit of a shiesty move, but they made so much money on it. You're like, shiesty, wash your hands of it, but they've made the Rams a very good organization. So 3 for 3. Rapids I can't speak to. I have no idea. But then you go to Arsenal, and it
terrible.
sounds like, okay, well, they've had a lot of things going on with their American teams. Can they focus on Arsenal? Like, is it possible to focus Rams or Avs Nuggets together? NFL, a little separate, but at least it's in the U.S. Arsenal just seems like a whole other full-time task.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Stan loves the Rams. That was his St. Louis team. That was his project to move him to L.A. Josh is the Arsenal guy. I guess basically you just have the Denver infrastructure here for the Rapids, Nuggets, and
My
Avs.
question
But
is, I don't understand. Like, he owns 10%.
Kroenke used to own 10%.
No,
That's
he
what they
slowly
bought
bought
in
more
at.
and
He's
more.
bought in
Now
at
he's got
10%.
70.
We're sort of like, oh, there's
How
just
much
some
does he
money.
own now?
I think it's
Majority.
68,
He's
70.
Majority.
He's
Majority.
the
He's the
face
owner.
of it.
He's
He's
the
the
owner.
face of
But
it.
so I just want to know how the other guy, the other owners are like.
Haven't you watched
just
Succession?
like-
This is how
Yeah.
it is. Like, it
they're
doesn't
like-
matter what you
they
own.
just like sit on their hands like, yeah, Kroenke out. They're like,
Board meeting
"You're here
begins.
too."
Board meeting begins when Stan shows up. Like everybody else just kind of has to hold their breath. And I wonder if there's the ability. It's just funny because we're always focused on the Nuggets. What can they do? Can they pay the tax? Can they build a training facility? They have so many things on their plate that I have
Yeah.
less confidence in any of those things going well. And you look at it, at least so far, Nuggets have been doing great. Hopefully they continue to do great. But
So if you'll appease a brief side tangent. So I work for a sports business publication. We're called Front Office Sports. So I follow this stuff closely. The new owner of the Kansas City Royals, I'm blanking on his name right now, but made a lot of money, was a season ticket holder and was a minority owner, I believe, in the Brewers, and then had the opportunity to buy Kansas City. When the pandemic broke out, he paid all his minor league players right away. Like, they have the best-in-class fan experience. They're paying their veterans. Like, it's a random team, but it's interesting to watch that owner and how much he cares. That's his thing. He's like,
Yeah.
quit his job at his empire. Like, he built his empire. He's in this every day. He's a season ticket holder. Like, that's his focus. And then you look at these ownership conglomerates. Like, KSE is one of, I think, 3 or 4 that own multiple assets. The track record's not great with this. Like, it's just not. It's like the
Yeah.
Steinbrenner family, that's all they've cared about forever is the Yankees. Now, there are things where there's other
The
families.
Bus
like,
family.
Yeah, the Bus family. Like, I'm from Baltimore. The Angelos family has ruined the Orioles. So
yeah, but there's
another
also the Dolan
flip side
family.
there.
Like, there's a flip
Yeah,
side to
there's a
this.
flip side.
Like, I don't know if there's a perfect formula, but Arsenal fans tuning in to listen to this one. From this conversation, I don't have a lot of faith that that's going to end up going well. Do you think there's any chance they could force Kroenke out with this type of, like...
See, that's what's interesting because there's so much money, particularly in London, and interested in Arsenal. Like, I don't know, what's the dollar sign where you start saying like, oh, we're actually going to start getting a lot of debt because they have to pay all these players. Because as Josh Kroenke said, we're on a Champions League wage bill for a Europa League side. And so if you don't qualify for this European, you miss out on a ton of TV revenue. Sort of like the NCAA tournament for college athletic programs. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there's 600 million pounds in debt and someone comes and says, hey, like I put together a group of 12 rich English Arsenal fans to buy you out for $4 billion or something, like, I don't know. I mean, that's got to be a consideration.
Yeah.
And obviously the fans have turned. Like, the fans are already turned based on results, and this is just another nail in the coffin.
It's wild. Well, continue to follow this story, as I don't feel like it's over by any means. But
No, you don't think the
I think all the Arsenal fans that will find this or have found this are just like, wait, so they're doing good on the other teams? What the heck is
And
this?
that's kind of like my Kroenke take a little bit, because I totally agree with everything you said about the TV stuff and building the fan base.
They have some red marks on their record for sure.
Definitely. But what I've applauded Josh Kroenke for when it comes to the Nuggets is he's taken a super hands-off approach and just empowered Tim Connolly to run that team the way he wants to.
Exactly.
And you compare it to a lot of other owners who love to meddle, and those owners can wreck your entire organization.
Yeah.
So I've actually been really impressed with how Josh has managed the Nuggets, and I would be surprised if he doesn't take that same approach with Arsenal, just like hiring people and letting them do their thing. Maybe he's got the wrong people there.
It just hasn't worked. Yeah,
exactly.
they've
But
made their
I
own
would be
hires
surprised if he's like the reason that it's gone awry.
That's the thing, is that like the Nuggets and the Avs are allowed to cultivate themselves in silence.
Yeah,
Like,
but they found
there's-
the right people.
Right, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like,
And that's the hardest
But the
part.
growth takes time. Like,
Yeah, we glorify the rebuild in the
they're
in the
in
States.
I mean, if they're truly in the Brian Shaw era, like the Nuggets were down bad, and they have slowly built back up by just allowing continuity to happen, and it takes time. But nobody was lighting fires in front of Pepsi Center at the time, because no one in the news is even talking about the Nuggets.
But
It's
this
like
is
all
the
happening
flip
in the
side.
dark.
Arsenal's the flip side of if the Nuggets stayed in those first 2 years of that rebuild, the Moutier-Nurkic era, if they were still in that era, you know?
Well, I think it's like, look, we judged the Broncos because they didn't find a quarterback. If you find a quarterback, everything else falls in place. If you find the right coach and manager, I guess, and player, then maybe everything else comes together. It's just hard to do that.
The chat is wanting basketball.
All right, let's move on. Let's get to Eric, who's going to make us some money here. 2.5. Nuggets favored.
Nuggets are favored by 2.5. I don't know what to make of that. What do you make of that? Like the Nuggets
It's
just
going to be a tough-ass
Say
game.
it's about right.
It's going to be a
the
tough-ass game.
Nuggets just lost to the Warriors, as you know. That was the game that we shall never speak of again with Jamal Murray. But they were losing the entire game. The Warriors came out and just kind of ran that game. Steph Curry obviously went bananas, scored 50 points. So I don't know. I mean, we all
Knock on wood, I feel a Nuggets win.
We all expected the Nuggets to win last time. The Nuggets seemed like really lackluster and low energy that entire game to me. So I don't expect that same performance at all. But I don't know. The Nuggets have also just been hanging on by the skin of their teeth. That seems to be the move what they're in, the mode that they're in right now. So I don't know. I hate betting points, but I do think the Nuggets probably are going to win tonight. I'll tell you, Dev's bet.
Oh, did he tell you?
Dev's bet is to take Draymond Green.
Oh, my God.
Points, rebounds, and assists. that's his
I think it's a
official
good bet.
That is. And my lock is Michael Porter Jr. to score over 2.5 threes. This line never changes.
It didn't hit last game, though, so
it didn't
he's
hit
due.
last game. Well, Michael Porter Jr. had the strangest game I've ever seen in my entire life.
He really did.
He scored
He did
17
have a weird
points,
game.
including 1 3-pointer in the first quarter, and then took 4 shots the rest of the game.
You're
That is
right.
not going to happen again. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a prolific part of the offense tonight.
Okay.
I would actually look at his points as well.
20.5.
I would also look at forgive me, Dev. I would look at Steph Curry threes tonight. Steph Curry
what I'm in
was on a tear.
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
He was scoring 10
What did he get in the
three-pointers
first
a game.
quarter against Denver? 4? He almost
No
cleared
faith
it
in the
first quarter.
termite.
And there is there's a little bit of, the termite can't stop him shooting when he wants to shoot.
Okay.
He can stop him from trying to drive the lane, but if Steph Curry wants to shoot, he's going to shoot. And this could be a game where Steph Curry wants to make an MVP statement.
All right, you know what? He definitely does, but I'm taking the termite tonight. You hear that, Argentina? I'm on your side tonight.
Well, I'm not taking his points. I'm taking his 3-pointers.
All right. What else we got here?
Other than that, I just love Jokic. I love what
I love
Jokic
him
is
too.
all
I
about.
love him
He's a good
so
guy.
much.
Love
Good
that
guy.
Jokic. I think this might be a Jokic rebound night.
Okay, Jokic
More so than
rebounds.
the if I remember, we didn't get that many assists from Jokic last time against the Warriors. Yes,
I took Nuggets -1 first half.
Allie took Nuggets -1 first half.
All
We
right,
don't know.
all right, Allie, why not? You know what? I'm with you. Let's do it.
Points
For
make me
solidarity.
Points make me nervous because you don't know. What
Solidarity, Allie, I'm
energy
with
is
you.
gonna
Why
be,
not?
But we know that Michael Porter Jr. is going to shoot baskets tonight. We know Nikola Jokic is going to be called upon. We know that Steph Curry is going to want to shoot threes, and we know that Draymond Green is Dev's pick. And I don't know anything else about that pick.
I'm taking Jokic points too. I just don't know who's going to guard him tonight, and I do feel like Jokic wants to make a bit of a
This
statement
could definitely
tonight.
be a points, rebounds, assists tonight. I mean, this
Yeah.
could be if Jokic has anything in him that wants to show that he is the MVP to go and do it against another guy that people are talking about as an MVP candidate.
He doesn't care.
But he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care.
I'm taking all the Will Barton props again.
Yeah.
Assists over 3.5. Rebounds over 4.5. Points, rebounds, assists over 23.5.
All right.
I just think he's in too big of a role for those not to hit.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to the pregame show. Friday night post-game lounges could be great. Could be a good one.
We might
be.
see an appearance.
It's going
by
to be better
Winningsburg.
than Steph Curry's
Maybe.
haircut. I'll
We
tell you
might
that.
see an appearance from Winningsburg. We hope. We got a super chat. It says, "Don't worry, Dev. I already bet the over for Will Barton, the third points, rebounds, and assists." Yes, you knew it.
you knew
You
it.
knew it. All right, everybody. We'll see you after the game.
Let's go.